Alright, in this video I want to take a look at a dash camera. It's from APEMAN, which I've used their products before and I've been very pleased with them. So I'm going to leave some images that will detail some of the features in case I don't hit all of the key points this camera offers, and we'll get into the video right after that. Alright, so as stated, we're taking a look at a dash camera. Now, I do have the dash camera connected indoors right now via a adapter that I have, so that's going to allow me to show you some of these things in an environment where it's quieter and you'll be able to see things hopefully a lot better. So this uses a Sony sensor, so it should have a very good quality image, and again, I have used their products before and been very pleased with them. They've actually been one of their action cameras that I have, and it's been one of my favorites of many, probably 25 action cameras I've taken a look at over the years, and it was one of my favorites that I used quite regularly and still use occasionally, though I don't have as much use for action cameras anymore. Anyway, this does have loop recording options, wide dynamic range. It has IR LEDs that you can use during the night, so you don't have to worry about, if it's dark outside and everything else. And it has a 3-inch IPS screen here on the back. The buttons on the side make it super easy to control. There's actually a little menu that shows up on the right hand side that shows you up, down, back, and you can kind of select for OK. So it's very intuitive and simple to run through all of the settings very quickly and very easily. You have your SD card over on the side. You have your power up on top. You also have a mount here for the suction cup we'll take a look at in just a second. And it does say that it supports GPS, though I believe that's an add-on module, and I believe it plugs in right here. I'm not 100% certain because I've never utilized that aspect. It does have audio recording as well, so that's actually very convenient. And it has a power adapter, the cord, that's almost 12 feet long, plugs into your cigarette lighter, and it has a illuminated USB port so that you can still charge your phone or run other devices if you needed to. Also included, well, first, the box that it comes in, it looks really nice. It's packaged really well. You kind of open it up and it's, each component has its own individual section. The camera here, the suction cup here, all your cables and such are over here. Of course, it does have a user manual we'll take a look at. Very nice little user manual, so you can kind of go through that, adjust things as needed. You also have, it says share your shopping experience, basically, so they want you to share your review, and of course you can get in contact with support and everything if not, and that's kind of one of those type things, like a hello, thank you for your purchase. So you get all these included paperwork. Probably not something you care too much about. This is like a little SIM card removal tool or a reset type tool, and this is a small cable that you can use. It's a little micro USB type cable, so if you wanted to plug this into your computer and transfer files instead of just pulling the SD card out, I suppose you could do so. Or you may be able to power this if you have the desire to run this unit off of a power bank or something like that. And then obviously a very important part is the suction cup, and I like this suction cup style, the way it's made, because it has one of those little basically just twist, and that's what it allows it to lock into place. So that's pretty cool. And I believe that's everything included. Alright, yeah, and so this just pops right onto the actual camera very easily. The mount right there, you can kind of adjust that how you want, and you do have like the little mount right here, and then you can kind of tighten that down so you can adjust this. So if I loosen this up, you know, I can have this pivot. So if this is on the glass like that and the camera's hanging down like this, but I want to adjust the angle a little bit, I can do so. Obviously if I loosened it up a little bit more, it wouldn't make quite as much noise. Anyway, that's everything that's included. Real quickly, I wanted to go through that. But now what I really want to focus on is the camera itself. So this has a 170 degree angle as far as the field of view. Wide dynamic range, WDR, which you can turn that off. You can turn off the parking monitor. So if you park your car, the idea would be, of course, that if somebody bumped your car, this could record that. You also have an accident locking mechanism built into it so that it senses when an impact has occurred and it locks that file so that you can actually review that and doesn't get overwritten, because if you have this on loop, then of course it's going to keep overwriting your files as the card continues to fill. The settings, again, very easy. So let me get the buttons on the side, as I said. So I'm going to push and hold this button down. There we go. And it says video recording. So I wanted to show you real quick. You have all your timestamp, which you can turn off and on. Your date and the time and all. You set that all up on the initial setup, and it's very straightforward. On the side over here, this was the menu I was referring to. So if I push the second button down, which is the menu button, I had to stop recording first. So you've got video, photograph, and playback. So you can see right there. And then you have settings. So again, here's your navigation, your back button, your up, your down, and basically select OK, you know, that type feature. So what we're going to do now is just run over, and we're going to highlight setup. We're going to push the bottom button, OK, and we have camera and system settings. So if we go into camera settings real quickly, you have resolution. So basically for picture and video, you can adjust 12 megapixel max, 1080p max, and then down from there on each one. I'm not sure anybody would want to do that, but you may want to, especially if you have a small SD card and you're worried about space. You have the loop recording option. I've set mine for the maximum 5 minutes. You have audio, which I've turned on. You have motion detection, so you can have this automatically detect and function during events where motion is detected, obviously, as the name suggests. You have a gravity sensor. You can adjust the sensitivity on that. You have parking guard, which I have turned off. That really only kind of works, I guess, if somebody hits you in the front of the car, because if they hit behind you, you're not going to see them anyway. Headlight warning. I suppose this can detect if you have your headlights turned on or not and alert you to remind you to turn them on. A lot of newer cars, of course, have automatic. Some older cars don't. So if that's what that is intended to do, then that's a really cool feature. I kind of like that addition. WDR, wide dynamic range. I'm going to leave that on. I think it improves the picture quality. And that's pretty much it. That's a quick run through on that. So we're going to go back. We're going to go down. And now we're at system settings. Push the bottom button, the orange button right there. Open that up. And what that's going to give us, auto power off 1 minute. So I'm actually going to go in. I'm going to turn that off, just so it stays on while we are looking at the camera and it doesn't go off. Below that you have screensaver, which obviously is going to be the screen here in case you don't want this thing to have the camera view, or you don't want to have like the screen off option. It kind of depends on what you want. I kind of like having it on, but that's up to you. The beep sound, so if you don't like these beeps, like that right there, you can turn that off. You have the startup sound, which you heard when I fired the camera up. You can turn that off if you like. I don't really mind it. It lets me know that it started up when I start the car up. Even though it's visually, you can see that it turns on. You can see the little LED indicators on the bottom left-hand corner right there, red and blue. You have the language, obviously, if you want to adjust that. You have the frequency, 50 or 60 hertz, depending upon your location. IR lights, that's going to relate to the actual IR lights that circle the camera right there. Let's actually go in on, and you can have these turn on and turn off at a specific time. So if you know it's going to get dark at 8 o'clock at night and be light again at 6 a.m., you can actually set that up. So that's kind of cool. The IR lights, again, that was the last thing. Below that we have the GPS. Again, I think that's going to be an add-on that you would have to check into for yourself. I don't have any information on that, sorry. You can set the speed unit, so if you wanted to have kilometers or miles per hour, depending upon your location, obviously which one you prefer. You have your date and time, so you can actually set that so that way the date and time is correct, so that when your timestamp in the event of an accident is going to be accurate. And you can turn the timestamp off and on. That's the next option available. You have license plate on and off, and then it has license plate number. When you enter that, it actually gives you the option to enter that into the field. So I would think that that would be intended for use in the event of an accident. You have the license plate and you can enter that license plate into the actual camera with the actual numbers and, you know, letters and such. You can format the SD card, of course. You can return to default settings in case you mess something up or just want to start over, or maybe you're going to give this to someone and you just want to start over. You have the version number, which is basically the software on the unit, and that's pretty much it. So that's a quick run through of all the different settings and options available for this actual camera. And if we back out, of course, we have video, photograph, and playback. So we have emergency video, common videos, and photos as far as our playback. So if you have an accident, obviously that's going to be emergency. Those are going to be locked in place. Then you have your common videos, just videos that you've shot while you were driving when no accident occurred or no large impacts were detected. There could be some false alarms depending upon the sensitivity level and I guess, you know, what you're doing as far as your driving is concerned. And of course your photos can be reviewed as well. So if we go to photograph, there we go. So the top button is what takes the photograph. So we're going to go ahead and back out. We're going to go to playback mode, photos, and we're going to hit our select button, which is the orange button. And you can see there's a photo. So let's hit select. And it's just like a little selfie. So I just wanted to take a quick photo just to show you how that works really quickly. Alright, so back out of that. And we'll back out of that. And we're back in video recording mode. So it's probably recording me right now. And actually the top button is what controls the video mode. So right now you can see on the top the red little timer, so that's recording. If I hit the button, it turns white, so it's not recording. If I go into playback mode again, select that, common videos, select that. You can see there's a couple of videos there. And if we hit one, so you can see movement. You can hear me talking. And that was me talking about the camera. It's picking that up. I probably had my hand over the actual mic, so it might have been a little muffled. Anyway, so that's a real quick run through of the camera, the functions, the features. Hopefully to some degree that gives you an idea. What I want to do now is actually toss it in the car and show you what video from that will look like so you can get an idea. I may link that below so it's untouched, completely raw, straight from the camera without any type of editing or processing, because when I do make this video for this portion of the video, it's going to get processed and I don't want to include that video along with it because I feel like it's going to alter that. It's going to change the frames per second for sure because of YouTube, and I want to make sure you have a complete idea of what you're getting in terms of video. Okay,